more sculling, and it's doubles this time. This is the Double Sculls Challenge Cup, first raced in 1839. And here we have Frankfurter Rudergesellschaft, Germania 1869 and Hannover Ruderclub von 1880, both from Germany on the left, and Penn Athletic Club and Saugatuck Rowing Club from the US on the right. And the time it's taken me to announce them, they've got underway and they're about 10 strokes into the race.
I thought you were doing very well, but they're doing better, I must admit. Great angle to see these doubles, isn't it? Double sculls is, you're just looking for really synchronicity between those two athletes, and also the angles of the blades as they move through the water. You really want them to be exactly matched, and it's really, the camera angles are very useful to see from front and back. Have they got those angles right?
Yeah, I think we're both just enjoying the sound of the scullers getting away cleanly and into a really nice rhythm, both of the crews here. There's not much to call so far in the race, but well, we can see it's starting to open up as we join line live down the course.
And again, both crews, I mean, you can see that, again, that leading crew that we said, that when the blades are right and the angles are absolutely equally matched, it's just that double moves so sweetly. You know, it's still hard work, clearly. There's still a lot of work going on to the water, but it becomes a very natural, easy rhythm. In your chasing boat, the blades can come apart slightly, straggling, and you're trying to match it back again. And again, you're trying to find a way to get back on terms.
Just looking here at the Americans, who were third in the double at the Pan American Games, and Cedar Cunningham in the bow seat went to the Olympic trials, invited to the Olympic trials. Quite a powerful young man. He shared his 2Ks 5:51, which is a pretty good number, and he's powering it on from the bow seat. Sitting in front of him is Casey Fuller, 28 years old.
Yeah, they're really nicely moving together. You can see they're actually, you know, body height is actually quite different sizes, but so between those two and their coach, they'll have worked to make sure, how do we set that boat up so that even quite different physicalities can be equally matched when it comes to racing.
Is it a standard idea that you put the sort of bigger person behind the smaller person in that? How do you figure out these doubles combinations? You've seen
often,
a few.
yeah, it's a really good question. It's often a trial and error, and some people might be more naturally to a certain seat. It also can involve steering and calling and decision making and rhythm and all those things. People have natural tendencies in different seats.
Well, the Americans comfortably ahead now of the Germans, and the Germans have got quite a lot to do here. Do you think it's feasible that they can attack from this position? I
would be very impressed if they could. That's a big comeback to make. You know, they've done, again, we've said this is the Friday of the regatta. It's a brilliant performance to get to this point, and this is when you're up against very classy opposition, and suddenly that gap has grown. And obviously, you know, in the coxed boats, it's often the cox can see the gap and figures out how to close it down. In a coxless boat, as these men are in, you know, you'd have to have a proper look around over your shoulder to see exactly where the opposition is. And to do that in a small boat can often upset the balance of the boat. So, you know, it's great to see the two Germans just focus very clearly on what's behind them and making sure that they're moving the boat closer. But it's going to take a huge act to pull up in the Americans.
I was talking earlier to Nigel Longley from Germania, who explained that Kino Salzmann, sitting there at bow, has been substituted in just ahead of the regatta. Unfortunate injury to Sydney Garbers, who was in this double before. So this is a fresh combination. So that's one of the challenges. If you're behind, you maybe haven't had the experience together on how to respond. But yeah, they really are facing some tough opposition from this very well-drilled American double.
Yeah, and I do like whether, you know, every camera angle you get a really good view of what makes a double work well. What, you know, the blade work, the bodies, the angles. It's really impressive. Although we're having to see steering coming from the Americans to get that right. But for the Germans, like you said, a new combination to make it to Friday of Henley is a brilliant achievement. And they'll just be learning every single race. The hard thing with this river is the course is hard. You know, we've seen how rough these conditions are, and as a new combination, that's quite hard to learn to row together in this challenging bounce of the wash.
Yeah, well, Kino's a class athlete as well. He was a junior silver medalist, and so he's got some experience. But yeah, that combination takes some time. Welcome if you're watching us from either Hanover or Frankfurt. It's great to have so many German crews, particularly from Germania here, as the American double from Penn Athletic Club and Saugatuck Rowing Club cross the line first. Pretty good day at the office for them, untroubled, sadly, by the German fresh combination who come across the line. Just confirming that win from Cunningham and Fuller over Salzmann and Zakharov from Germany.